Hi, everybody. I hope you're all well. Thank you for being here and sharing your time with me. I apologize for my absence, but the list is long. As a result of the flash storm, we were without water for hours and electricity for more than 12 hours. And as you know, the Wi Fi inverter only lasts about 4 to 6 hours. And you are not going to believe this, but we are also in a load shedding cycle 3 times per day for 2.5 hours each time. It really is totally ridiculous. If the South African government could not sort out our power grid in about 15 years, why don't they privatize the national energy supplier? Maybe someone else could or would do a better job. When I hear Mr. Ramaphosa talking about sustainable energy and net zero, I holler with laughter. We are definitely on our way to zero the way we are going now. Anyway, what is not a laughing matter is the news that the king has a form of cancer. Apparently, it relates to something else doctors found when he had the minor prostate surgery. As you know, I'm not a big fan of King Charles, but it still came as a huge shock. Of course, the entire scenario is made worse by the fact that Catherine is still laid off and will be for at least another 2 to 3 months as a result of some mysterious condition which needed major or serious surgery. Then there is Sarah and her second cancer diagnosis in less than a year. And I'm a little worried about Edward as well. We've seen him lose a lot of weight, and now he too had to take time away from his duties to rest. It is worrisome and likely the reasons why William is returning to performing duties sooner than intended. It is terribly concerning, and I know what I'll say next may be very controversial. And believe me, until yesterday, I was fully behind Catherine keeping her medical condition private. But after the King's cancer announcement, I think it may be better if they play open cards and tell us what is wrong with her. I think it may calm us down a little. Almost since the death of the Queen, we all placed our hope in William and Catherine, and therefore I think it may be a good idea to put our minds at ease about her condition. I'm so afraid that people may start making crazy assumptions and allegations about Catherine's condition and further upset the royal family and the public. Almost equally concerning is Harry's trip to England to see his father. Now, trigger warning. The following is my opinion and not necessarily true, but I am concerned about Harry's visit to his father because, firstly, does this almost immediate reaction mean that the king's condition is more serious than we are told? In my opinion, the king's condition is likely more serious than we are being told. Hence, Harry not wasting time to see his father. Or is Harry and Meghan seeing this as a headline grabbing opportunity? I'm sorry to say this, but I think at least one of them, if not the both of them, are indeed seeing it as a way to gain media sympathy. Why else would they inform the media that Harry is indeed flying to England? And don't even try to tell me that it did not come from them. Because how else would the media know that he is traveling alone and that the wife and children are not traveling with him? Of course, like the Queen, the King is likely saying, thank goodness Meghan is not coming. But my next question is, why not bring the children to see their grandfather? At least Archie. He's a little older and will likely be more understanding if you tell him grandpa's not all well, he's a bit sickly. And he should be easier to control. I mean, you can tell Archie, don't jump on grandpa, don't, sit nicely next to him and that kind of thing. Or is Megan refusing to let them go, fearing that Harry may not come back if she does? That is something else we could or should consider. What sickens me is that they and the media are already making it all about them. And please, God, don't even try to tell me it's not them and their camp feeding the media. Because as I am preparing this, I got a notification that Harry will arrive in London today as he was spotted leaving at LA airport. It is also reported that the king spoke to Harry before his departure. Now, how would they, the media, know that unless they were told by a so-called insider? And we all know the insider is 99% Meghan, whether it is herself, a member of her staff, or a friend at her instruction. Nobody knew the exact date or time of Harry's departure. If he was a normal person with a normal job, it would have taken him a couple of days to make the travel arrangements. Yet it states Harry was pictured arriving at the private entrance at the airport in a black car. Yet backgrid photographers knew exactly what day, what time, and through which entrance he will go. And of course, I'm willing to bet that after the visit, Harry will give an interview stating that he is making sure that his father is surrounded by the right people and getting the absolute best cure. Remember that interview with Hoda Cobb? I'm sure he will do the exact same thing. And Megan is likely furiously scribbling away in her memoir how nobody wants her there, and if she's not good enough to go, then neither are her children, except, no, wait, that's for another video. Anyway, scribbling or not, I am fairly sure we'll see Megan doing a parking lot pack walk all dressed in black and looking all mournful within the next few days. Now look, the king's diagnosis came as a shock to me. I'm past middle age, okay, a couple of years younger than Sarah York, and her diagnosis had already upset me. Now, to have Charles diagnosed with cancer is really also very upsetting, whether I like him or not. Like his mother, he had been a constant in my life. Always there, newspapers, on magazine covers, etc., etc. Seeing them struggle with their health is like watching myself aging and realizing the risks which come with aging. As I page through the newspaper articles, I see Thomas Markle Jr. has also spoken up, and in particular about Harry not taking the children to see Charles. As Tom says, every grandfather should be able to see his grandchildren, including his own father, Thomas Markle Sr., who himself is not a healthy man. During this time, the person I feel the most sorry for is indeed William. I cannot even begin to imagine how he feels, how torn he is, with his own wife, the mother of their three children, having gone through something serious and not being able to be herself or back on the job for months, having to deal with his father's illness, which will inevitably drag him back to work, and now having to deal with Harry as well. I mean, folks, that just isn't fair. And what does Harry really want? Does he want to make sure he is still in the will? To make sure he will keep his titles? To make sure that he keeps his place in the line of succession? I almost want to ask, why else is he rushing over? William is back doing duties, doing his first investiture today, I think. The king will still deal with his red box and matters of state. He's just not going to do duties which will require physical exertion, like a lot of walking, etc. Anne is still working hard. Sophie is giving it her all and doing great work. And then there's the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, whom everybody tend to forget about, but who are doing a stellar job. Hopefully, Edward just needs a rest and he will be back in a week or so. Honestly, Harry is not needed. Definitely not yet, if ever. In my opinion, he is not much wanted right now either, as the last thing I think the family wants to deal with right now is someone in their midst whom they can't trust. Again, in my opinion, I think we should do whatever we can to encourage and support William and maybe pay as little attention as possible to Harry. Well, having said that, I'm bringing you some stories about Harry and his missus very soon. Very, very soon, I think, which I do not think he or her will appreciate much, particularly not at this time. But as always, I want to dot my I's and cross my T's before I stick my neck out. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it right here as from Thursday, the big athletic heats are over. The Weather Bureau predicts that the temperature will drop a few degrees. And on Friday, Dragon Man and his mates' induction into high school also end with a blazer ceremony. And from there, it is just school as per normal. And Granny is ever so glad. Thank God. Anyway, guys, until we meet again on the next one, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.